So now that we know what makes a good sequel, let's run down my top 3 best and worst sequels. And I have to lay down some ground rules. We're only talking about the second installment in the series. Some franchises have been around long enough to have both the best and worst sequels. I'm looking at you, Godfather. But the second in the series seems to be the barometer. It means the filmmakers understood straight out of the gate what audiences liked about their original film and were able to build upon it. Also, we aren't discussing box office. Sequels have the benefit of drafting off the success of the first film and often come with a good deal of anticipation, so it's unfair to judge a sequel on box office receipts. And finally, this is my list, so if you don't agree, I expect to hear from you in the comments. Okay, let's do this. First up, the 3 best sequels, in my humble opinion, of course. Coming in third, Terminator 2. T2 delivers on all the points I previously made about successful sequels. It reunites the cast, puts them on the same team this time, aligns them against a new common enemy, a bigger, badder Terminator. It builds the characters from the first film and maintains the mythos.
I'll be back.
T2 is literally the definition of a good sequel and can stand on its own. 2. The Godfather Part II. The Godfather was a great film, but we see Don Corleone at the end of his life. In The Godfather 2, we don't only get an origin story of Don Corleone, but we get to see his son Michael Corleone ascend to Godfather and become the monster he tried to resist. Coppola has said that Godfather was always meant to be told in 2 parts, which is why the second installment is so good. They wrote the original knowing they'd likely have a chance to continue telling one large story. It also explains why Godfather 3 was so terrible. It was never supposed to be. It broke the first cardinal rule of sequels. It wasn't needed. Coppola had refused to make the 3rd installment for a long time, but the studio offered enough money and the rest is history.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
And the number 1 sequel, The Empire Strikes Back. While it's hardly debated that Empire is the best film in the original trilogy and arguably the best Star Wars film overall, for me it's in stiff competition with Rogue One, Empire Strikes Back stood on its own and didn't try and recreate the magic from the first film. It created its own magic. It moved the story and the characters forward in a more robust storyline that would eventually be much larger than one movie could contain. Empire Strikes Back concludes on a downbeat, setting up not just Return of the Jedi, but the entire Star Wars universe. At the end of Empire Strikes Back, Luke is convalescing after his battle with Vader, Han is frozen in carbonite, and the Empire is growing stronger by the moment. And we've just found out that Vader is Luke's father. I mean, talk about a cliffhanger.